supposed to be down at the bottom. My bro told me go get him, I got him. You walk with God, you better not doubt him.
David, wake up.
What's going on, everybody? I'm here with Coach Ro, and the second time we're doing an interview, but this time is in person. How you doing today, Coach?
I'm doing pretty good, man.
All right, nice to meet you once again. So my first question, I know even though we're talking a lot behind the scenes, but my first question is, how is your family? How do you conduct the kids, the wife, basketball? How do you balance all of that?
Well, it's very tricky, as you know, but I've been able to make it work for the last 34 years. Since I got married, and I put God first, and everything falls from there. And I just spend a lot of time in the different areas, and I've been able to to juggle it all. I spend quality time in every area and prioritize.
Okay. Is your wife happy that you're transitioning into consulting? You have more time with her?
Yeah, she definitely is. Because before I would go to prep school like 6 in the morning and be there all day and come back home at 9 at night. And that was a regular, Monday to Friday, deal. So I wouldn't get a lot of time to see her and spend time with her and stuff. So now she likes that a lot in terms of more time to, be at home and go out different places and come with me different places and so forth. So she likes it a lot.
I know you're transitioning into consulting. So what was the aha moment? What was the day that you made up your mind that, I'm going to transition?
I think that last year when I was, every day when I go to school, it was I was doing it and I was making it happen, but I wasn't as happy about it because it was a grind, and I've been grinding for 33 years, 34 years, and it just came to one of those moments that is sort of like it was like a moment where it's like, what, I'm thinking, everybody's calling me to get information about prep schools, getting players, going to tournaments in the States, how do you do this, how do you do that? Once I go into that, and I still be around basketball, I still do my AAU stuff, but now I'll have more free time and still be able to help a lot of prep schools and organizations rather than just one school. And that's what I decided, what? After this year, the year's over, I think I'm gonna move in that direction.
Okay. Did you pray about it before you made that decision, or? Yeah,
I did. Once I thought of that, I sought the Lord, talked to my mom, my daughter, my son, my wife, and just the signs from the Lord were just coming in that's how I should do it. People were calling me left, right, and center. I was just more happier about it, and the verses that I would read about stuff, it was all coming back to that point that it's time for a change, a new birth. It was everything was leading me that it's time to make that move, and I've been a lot happier. My wife's been more happier, so I think it's been for the good, for the change, and I'm just really jumping headfirst into it.
Okay, so give people advice on when they need to make career change, because I know some people that are stuck in a career, they don't have the courage to move on and transition to the next thing in their life, but they're just stuck in one position. How do they know when, and how do they have the courage to take it to the next level?
I think that the best way for someone to know if they should have a career change is the fact, obviously you gotta pray about it first. You gotta seek the Lord, and you follow the signs, you follow your heart, everything makes sense, everybody's in agreement, Lord has different ways of showing His message and His plan for you, and it has to make sense. I think it has to make sense, and it has to feel good. Like it felt really good to make that change. You felt like it was about time. And as long as you have your family behind you, and obviously if you're the Lord with you, then you'll be good. And you have to know what you're getting into. If you're going to make a career change, there has to be something that you're really good that you're changing into. You're not just going to just say, you know what, I quit. You're not going to quit. You're going to make a change, to something that you're pretty good at, that you can make, continue on in that field with some good sense of experience and knowledge and expertise.
How long do you see yourself doing the consulting business?
Well, I see myself doing it for a while, for the next haul, because I've been getting so much work, and prep schools are here to stay in Canada, and I'm delving into America, and even some different organizations overseas are contacting me, so I can see it being a pretty, pretty good way to go, unless something else comes around that is always what I wanted to do, like, going to the NBA or something like that. I think this is a pretty good career path to go into.
Okay, so the people who may be calling, after they see this, is that like an online business, or are you actually gonna go to the organization and talk to the people?
Yeah, well, it's multiple ways, and that's a great thing about it, because you can reach people online, on Zoom, on a phone call, on WhatsApp. You can go to the actual location if you need to, and you can help them to build their prep school program or organization better, in terms of advice, in terms of helping them get players, organizing their schedules, finding U.S. tournaments to go to, doing events for them, and just doing a whole bunch of things, and I think that, because it's so flexible and it's so versatile, that it's very, very unique. I don't know if there's someone else out there in Canada that's doing what I do. So it's, it's another trailblazing venture.
Okay, perfect. Do you have a website out there that people can check it out, or that's not up yet?
It's not up yet. In the midst of putting it up, but it's going to be Rorussellconsultingservices.com. Right now, if you go on Coach Ro Russell on Instagram, most of that information will be on there. In terms of how to contact me or what my services are and those kind of things.
Okay. So when the video goes up, we'll put that up there as well too. Speaking of prep, how do you see the prep schools and life in Canada moving on the next 5 years? Where do you see it in the next 5 years?
The way I see preps in the next 5 years, I think that there's going to be like 200 preps. You know what I mean? Now you're seeing preps in Montreal and Nova Scotia, in Winnipeg, in Alberta, a lot of small towns in Canada. You're going to see these prep schools pop up, and they need to, because it's good for kids to come across from Vancouver or Regina or Alberta to Toronto, but soon I think the more they pop up in the nearby cities, then you can have a league, and you can make it happen to provide that same kind of experience and product for the kids, and that's where I come in. So I'm looking to organize different prep school programs in different cities. So there's three kind of prep schools, right? As you know, there's an addition to a regular public or Catholic school, and they have a separate program away from the regular, provincial high school program. Then you have an academy that's attached to a sports facility. And then you have a private school that's one in the same in terms of the basketball program, the school. So there's three kind of prep schools. So there's a lot of different room to move around and make it happen throughout Canada, like how it's going on in America.
So I want to ask, how is Elijah Fisher doing in Texas Tech, and why did he pick Texas Tech out of all the other schools?
Yeah, I think that the reason why Elijah Fisher picked Texas Tech is because they pursued him the most. You know, a lot of times you first want to go somewhere where they want you the most. They're calling all the time, they're visiting, they're organizing stuff with you, they're making that commitment, and you have that feeling that when I go there, it's gonna be the same thing, and it has been in terms of that, and you know, he's a hard-nosed, physical, you know, very capable defender, athlete. So Texas Tech is right up his alley in terms of that kind of profile. Yeah. And so you know, it's in the Big 12, a high-level league, and you know, a few years ago they went to the national championship game, and you know, so I think they're ranked number 5 this year going into the season. So I think you know, it's a pretty good program where he can still get stuff done and still pursue his goals and win and get better by it. So I can see the changes already in his body and his jump shot and just in the intelligence and when he came home to visit. Yeah. So you can see that. So you know, so the right now the world's his oyster, and you know, I think college basketball is his oyster too. We'll find out about that in the next month and a half or so. You know. Okay.
Yeah, a question just popped up in my head. Could he have gone the GLeague way and played with the Ignite team, or no?
Yeah. Well, that was one of one of the things he was thinking about, is going the GLeague way or the overtime elite way as well. But he wanted to play college basketball. That was very important to him, and is very important to his parents in terms of education as well as basketball. And so, you know, he wanted to go that direction as well. And we looked at it, he visited and checked it all out. But in the end, he saw that, you know, his best way is to go through the college basketball direction.
Okay, and talk about the transfer portal and the rules, and you know how things are now.
Yeah, so basically,
go ahead.
There's a new thing that's in the NCAA right now called the one-time transfer rule, and so they created a transfer portal whereby kids for one time can transfer from a Division I school to another Division I school and play right away. So that's changed our game entirely, because now coaches can get a transfer rather than a high school player that's, you know, someone that's 23, 24, 25. They'd rather get a grown man than a 18-year-old kid that's coming out of high school that has to learn and grow and develop and go through the system. So they'd rather have maturity, experience, and ready-made players. So that's made it a little bit harder on high school kids. So now you have to really look at youth sports, Division II, NEIA, which is like the Division II, and also junior colleges. You know, so you have to look at more options now, because those options that you were out there before, a bigger number, aren't there anymore in terms of Division I. So you have to work that much harder on your body, on your game, on your mind, and everything if you want to get that opportunity to go D1.
Wow. So coaches are looking more of the mature kids, the older kids, more than the younger kids at this point.
Yeah, and so because of that, I always tell kids that when you're looking at everything, you got to make sure that you're on par with a 23, 24-year-old. You can't be looking across and saying, I'm just as good as this kid in high school. You got to be looking at the kids in college and say, I need to be as good as him. I need to be as mature as him. I need to talk and be vocal and really be responsible and have that kind of character and personality that an older kid has, because that's what the coaches are looking for now. They don't want to babysit. They just want someone to come in and get the job done, and know exactly what it is.
Okay. When you're training kids in the gym, what is your approach to training the kids? What are you looking for? What are the details in the training?
The first thing you want kids when you're training them is they gotta love it. They gotta love it, because what I like to do when I'm training kids is have them get up early in the morning and come to 6 o'clock morning workouts on the weekends and so forth in the summertime, when you can, let's see if this kid loves it, where he doesn't mind if he has to get up at 5 o'clock to get to the workout for 6. He doesn't mind that, because that's how it's going to be in college. That's how it's going to be in prep school. So you want kids like that, and that shows the work ethic too.
Yes.
Because they're ready to go and they'll work hard, even those early morning, and they didn't get the sleep they wanted and all that stuff. So you got to go hard. You want kids to give 100% effort, and you want them to be great listeners, so you don't have to waste time going over things over and over again. So, and you want kids to be focused and locked in, no fooling around. It's not about how you look, the music you have on your ear buds, and and all that stuff. It's about just getting in the gym when everybody else is sleeping and going to work.
All the guys that you have coached and that moved on to the NBA, do you still stay in contact with them and give them advice, or you just, once they move on, you just let them be and you focus on the kids that are coming up?
From all the guys that I've had over the years, I do keep in contact with them at different levels. Some guys are more frequent than others, but all of them I keep in touch with them, and a lot of them I bring them back whenever they finish their career and to coach in our grassroots programs and so forth. So therefore I try to keep them involved and to give back and to know what's going on and update them and how the program's doing and the new kids coming up and so forth. So I do keep in touch with the ones that played for us, that moved on, to give back to the ones that are coming up.
Also, this came to me right now. If Mike Kabongo didn't have his situation that he had, while he was in college, you think he'd be in the NBA now?
Yeah, I think missing that 15 games when Mike Kabongo was in college really, really hurt his chances with the NBA scouts and just the whole perception and the whole negativity. So I think that really hurt his chances, because he was quick enough, he was competitive enough, and he can really pass the ball. And he was 6'2", and he was determined, and he had the work ethic. So he had all the pieces. He needed to work on his jump shot a little bit more, but I think that would come in terms of his work ethic and spending time in the summers and just getting that, because he has a jump shot now. So. I think that Mike would have had an opportunity to stick in the NBA because of his talent, and he proved it when he went in high school in the States and even in college for the time that he was there. He proved that he could play at that level. So he still has that pro mentality, and he looks out for kids and has camps and mentors kids, and so he does it the right way. I went to one of his camps recently and spoke at the camp, and I was real proud of him to be still looking out for these kids and spending time with them, and trying to give them a chance like he got.
Okay. And I always wondered why you did not coach Canada basketball. All the good coaches in Canada, have gone through there, but you haven't gone through.
Yeah, I think my mind was in a different place in terms of coaching Canada basketball, and also I think that they were on a different tip. They wanted more Canadian university coaches and stuff like that, and they saw me more as a recruiter and those kind of things. So I think that it was just timing and just different. Where I was, where they were. So I keep in touch. Actually, the last weekend I was one of the training coaches with Team Canada at Humber College for their national tryouts and stuff. So I keep involved with that, because there's nothing better than representing your country. You know what I mean? And with Rowan Barron and Michael Meeks and Steve Nash and all those kind of guys that I know and have a relationship with, it's good to be involved in that and helping them identify the top kids from all over Canada and teach them the system that they have, because they have more of a dual European/American kind of system. So they get the best of the both worlds. So it's pretty good.
Okay. Do you think the program is heading in the right direction? I mean, they got a lot of NBA guys for the last 5-7 years, but it still seems like they're stuck in the same spot.
I think they're going to break through because, they got the coach, they got Nick Nurse. You can't get better than that. You know what I mean? You can't run a lot better than that. So you got the coach, you got the government that's putting in slowly but surely putting in the money in to support it, and then you get more and more NBA players. So I have always said that the day that they're cutting NBA players from the team, that's the day that they're going to medal. So that's around the corner, because they have enough guys going to training camp that some NBA guys will get cut. And then that would mean that most or all of the guys on the team left will be from the NBA. And they all been proving themselves. Jamal Murray's healthy now, and all those guys, Shea Alexander. So I think that they can put guys together. Andrew Wiggins was an all-star and a world champion, and so I think they can make it happen now.
Did Andrew come with the trophy yet?
Yeah. He came a couple months ago and had a celebration event in Vaughan with the trophy and stuff that I went to. So it was pretty good to see it, because now we have 3 former players that won a championship. Tristan Thompson with the Cavs, Corey Joseph with the Spurs, and now Andrew Wiggins with the Warriors. So it's pretty cool that you have 3 guys. How many guys can say that? They have 3 former players that have world championship rings, or they won a championship.
How many countries can even say that?
You know what I'm saying? So that was pretty cool.
Okay.
Yeah.
Speaking of Golden State, you know what happened with Draymond in practice. I'm sure you've been to an NBA practice before. Is that a normal thing that happened, or that's different? That's a different situation.
Well, a lot of practices from high school, prep school, college, NBA have had some shoving matches, but it's mostly stayed at that level of just shoving matches.
Yeah.
Talking, jarring. A little push here, a little push there.
Yeah.
But, this is one of the first time that someone actually, took a punch at someone. Sort of like a sucker punch, because, Poole was just pushing him away like, okay, that's enough. And then he just came right back with a punch. So it wasn't good for the organization, good for the team starting the season. It wasn't a good look for, young black men. Being professionals. So, I don't know what's going to happen with it, what the NBA is going to say, because I know they're going to give some kind of fine for it once they finish their investigation. But from watching Jordan Poole play last night, I don't think he missed a beat, because he did a nice behind the back fadeaway jump shot. It kind of ignited him, So I don't think it's going to affect them at all, because they're professionals. They go through stuff like that all the time, so they don't let it affect their game. A lot of people will take it and put it as chips on their shoulder, because now he's saying, hey, I must be, threatening somebody's position or their clout, because, look what they did. So they can use it in a way, to turn lemon into lemonade.
Draymond said, he's gonna take time away from the team. I don't know how long, but he's gonna take time, which I think should be the right thing to do.
Yeah, it is. But he's also, the NBA is gonna tell him to take some time. The Warriors are gonna tell him to take some time. So it's not just him saying I'm taking time. They're gonna give him some time off by saying you're suspended for 3 months or how many games or whatever. So there's gonna be a dual decision, and now. Jonathan Kuminga and other guys, Andrew Wiggins, can step up and do their thing. So I think in the long run, it'll probably make them better. You know what I'm saying? James Wiseman will get more time now, and so forth. So Looney and everybody. So that's what it is.
Okay. Yeah, behind the scenes, what I heard was that he didn't just punch him. He punched him for a reason. And, they're going back and forth, just arguing, as normal. And Jordan Poole was like, you know what time it is. You know what time it is. And Draymond's like, no, what are you talking about? What are you talking about? And obviously it's about the contract situation. Draymond still hasn't gotten an offer yet. And Jordan Poole, he's about to get a big offer. So Golden State's going to have to decide who to pay. So, Draymond, took offense to that, right? So that's where the punch came from. So right before that, that's when he punched him, right? So it has something to do with that. But it is what it is.
Yeah, he's always in some kind of scandal or mini scandal, one of the players. First was KD, then that was Jordan Poole. I'm sure it was someone else before that. We probably don't even know what else he's done in the locker room or in practice in the past, So, he's a very triggered player.
Yeah.
And different. Remember, he used to, take sucker punches at guys in games, with his feet and everything. So, he's a character. But, that's just more talk about the NBA, and, beat goes on.
Mm-hmm. As a coach, how would you handle that situation in practice?
Well, obviously as a coach, you would, have a meeting and try to figure out all what happened. Like you said, a lot of people don't know about the contract negotiations behind the scenes, what was said before, and you figure it all out before you make an impulsive decision. And then once you figure out all the sides, then you make an internal coaching decision in terms of, discipline, in terms of suspensions or different rules and regulation changes, and then it's you pass it on to the organization. Then it's their turn to say what they're going to say in terms of a press release and their kind of suspensions, and then obviously the NBA has one as well. So it's a three-prong system in terms of that. But they're professionals, and the beat goes on, and more other guys to step up. So if he's going to do that, then hey, that's another person's opportunity. So if that happens with me, I'm looking for another guy to step up, because you can't be waiting for that, because games have to go on, and you have other NBA players that could fill that role to some degree.
Yeah. And my last question is, I know the NBA season's coming soon. What's your thoughts on the season? And you have any title contenders you think might get to the top?
Yeah, well, I think that if you really think about it, from all the juggling and free agency and impact draft picks and everything, this is one of the biggest years in the history of the NBA in terms of across the board. There's been a lot of times that the West's been very, very strong and the East is not so strong. But now, top to bottom, every team has infusion of young, up-and-coming stars, all-stars, Hall of Fame players. It's pretty even out. There's a lot of strong teams. Everybody, every game is going to be a game now. Before, a lot of games were cakewalks. But now look at most teams. You might lose. I watched, I know it was only an exhibition game, but the Raptors had a hard time with Houston. And before, Houston used to be a joke the last few years, and they just ran over. Houston has some really good young up-and-coming players.
They do.
And so everybody has that. So it's going to be a lot of parodies in the NBA now. And, I think that it's going to be very interesting to see who gets to the Western Conference Finals and the Eastern Conference Finals. I think it's going to be Golden State and Lakers in the West, and I think it's going to be either Milwaukee, or if New Jersey Nets can stay healthy and intact, then it'll be New Jersey Nets, because I think that whole scandal with Udoka really hurt.
Yeah, it's gonna hurt them a lot.
Hurt Celtics in terms of focus and distractions. So yeah.
Okay, you sure New Jersey's gonna be up there?
Yeah.
With all that chaos?
Yeah, but I said if they can stay focused and be healthy,
Yeah.
you can't deny that talent. Even with Ben Simmons not being able to hit a jump shot, you don't need him to hit a jump shot. It's actually a good thing. Pass the ball to Kyrie and KD; they'll hit the jump shots. You just defend, push the ball, score buckets, get to the basket, make plays, and I think that they're a very potent team with that.
They're a very small team too.
Yeah.
They're thinking of paying Simmons up to 5, but
Yeah. Exactly.
you think that'll work?
Yeah, it's worked with Golden State, right? Golden State's been playing small ball for a long time with Draymond Green, so I think that that could work.
Okay. But Simmons has never played the 5 before. Draymond has played the 5 most of his career.
I think that I can see Draymond being a Draymond type player. I can see Ben Simmons being a Draymond Green type player because he can pass, he can rebound, he can seal to the defense, he can score once in a while, and I can see him doing that. And he's 6'10", so he's big enough to cover most centers, with help side and so forth. So that's a very interesting way of building the team together. So we'll see what happens. It's going to be very exciting this year.
Yeah, very exciting.
We'll see what happens when the dust settles. But I think my pick for the champions this year is Golden State again.
Golden State.
Yeah, wow. I think Golden State. They're like Steph Curry is like he's kind of approaching Michael Jordan. He's kind of slowly passing LeBron and Kobe and those kind of guys to get to Michael Jordan, because he changed the entire game of basketball. If you're doing stuff like that, then you're going to be one of the best ever. You know what I mean? And he did that last year. And with the team that they're putting together at Golden State, they put together now. James Wiseman is healthy now, and
Clay's healthy.
Andrew Wiggins is settled in. You know what I mean? Kuminga is he's getting up there now. He's gonna get more opportunities with Draymond out. Jordan Poole, I think that something's gonna happen. Something's gonna happen with the Lakers that's gonna mess it all up, because you really any team that LeBron James is on is supposed to get to the finals, but something's out there that's gonna mess it up. You know what I mean? With either Russell Westbrook or injuries or internal stuff or coaching or whatever. So that the smart money is on Golden State. Playing against the Nets in the finals.
All right, perfect. That's all I got for today. Anything you got to say? Anything else?
I just want to add the fact that I really enjoy spending time with you and talking about my faith and also basketball. Those are my two loves. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So it's always good to be on the show with someone that's like-minded and the way to that you're doing it in terms of touching on both of those subjects freely without any kind of hindrance and shying away. So, I give all glory to Jesus Christ, my personal Savior.
Yes.
And, we'll keep in touch and all glory to God.
All right. You heard that? All right. So, yeah, that's it. That's all we got for today. And, hopefully we do this again with Coach and many more. All right. See you guys next time. All right. Peace.